Welcome back, girl.
Hey. How you doing
It's
today?
been so long since we've dished.
I know, it's been pages and pages. Has it been 3 weeks now? Who's
I don't
counting?
know. Who's in this economy?
Cheers to you, Queen.
What are we drinking tonight?
We've got, in honor of Pride Recovery, which is our topic,
Mm.
I'm drinking a tried and true hangover cure from the 30s, which is more alcohol.
Corpse Survivor #2.
You already know.
Girl, is that a Corpse Survivor? I am so jelly.com. I am drinking a Cabernet. I am at a hotel. Anyways.
They didn't have absinthe, unfortunately.
Okay, so Corpse Survivor #2, total, Kel Surprise, a tangent, citation to Angie Healy.
Citation. Yeah.
So a Corpse Survivor #2 is one of those Prohibition era cocktails where the mixers are also booze.
Correct. It's all booze,
And-
except for
it's
one
just-
thing.
Which is weird because I'm like, you couldn't find booze, but I'm like, well, when you could find booze, was it only booze? Like, I don't understand.
I think this
Why?
honestly, I think this was the post-prohibition era where people were just throwing things together because they could.
Because they were just like booze. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I feel that way about A Last Word.
Oh yeah.
Which is another classic cocktail. But the Corpse Survivor #2 is specifically designed for a hangover cure. What's in it?
So I'm so glad you asked. It's equal parts. You wash the glass with absinthe, or you can just, dab a little in, which is what I do. And then it's equal parts lemon juice, gin, fortified white wine, and Cointreau. So it's a very citrusy drink.
If there's a beverage with a fortified wine, Eileen Galvin loves it.
We'll find it.
Yeah, she'll find it. She'll sniff it out like a
I will
crumble
find
cake.
it. I will make it. I will drink it.
Yes.
I'm the Liam
I love
Neeson of
that.
cocktails.
So, also, is there a Corpse Survivor #1?
There is. It's much less popular. It's kind of like, I don't even know what it's made of, but I tried one once and I was like, oh, I can see why they made a second edition.
They're like, this isn't good.
No, it's not great. I can look it up if you like. It's
I'm doing it right now.
well, then Brooke, please share with the class.
Oh God. 2 parts brandy
Okay.
or cognac,
All right.
1 part apple brandy or Calvados,
Mhm.
so it adds fruity, 1 part sweet vermouth.
That's it?
That's it. So
Honestly,
it's
it's a little
brandy with
underwhelming.
vermouth. It is, which is why #2 is like, papa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
number 2 definitely sparkles. #1 sounds, honestly, it sounds really underwhelming.
It does. It's just brandy mixed with brandy, mixed with vermouth.
Yeah, and no other
World's
flavoring
worst
agents.
threesome. Yeah.
Sweet
So-
vermouth and apple brandy does not. I mean, I have sweet vermouth and apple brandy upstairs, so we could try this next time.
Oh, I think we actually should.
Mhm.
I think we actually should. And like, you have to finish it by the end of the dish.
You know what? I don't have any cognac though, so oh no, I guess I'll have to go get some. Oh no. Yeah, totally.
Well, I'm having another hangover cure, not as popular.
What's
This
that?
is an Avion water from the
Avion.
Fort Lauderdale airport. Who is she? What is
Nice.
she wearing?
Oh, I
Yeah.
love the influencer display,
Mhm.
the
Mm.
YouTube show and tell.
Ugh.
You know who knows about Pride Recovery? Jennifer Coolidge.
An Avion. She does. That poor baby. She just got adopted by the gays. You know,
Yeah.
for me, my Jennifer Coolidge moment, which is part of my Pride Recovery, if we're going to talk about that, is just watching movies. Because I get like a hangover because I miss it so much.
Yeah.
I miss like Pride, so I'll watch like Tu Wong Fu and The Birdcage. Oh, John Leguizamo just did an interview about Tu Wong Fu. Separate conversation. We must dish.
Oh, that's
On
amazing.
it.
Also, did you
It
know that
is.
he did that character more than once?
Chi-Chi?
Well, a very similar drag persona.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if she had the same name, but he had a comedy bit where he was dressed up as a woman, and it was basically just Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking about how annoying he was to Patrick Swayze on the set, and they got in a fight. because Leguizamo is such an improviser. He was just improvising the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
And Swayze was such like a straight actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like he couldn't handle it. So that makes total sense. Because he started as a stand-up. Leguizamo started as stand-up.
That
Anyways,
makes sense. I wonder if that inspired the fight scene that they have. You know what I mean? Like, if they
oh
could,
my God,
if they
totally.
Could draw
It was
from
so
that.
real. Yeah, it was probably like, everyone was like, fucking yeah.
Yeah.
There's Wesley Snipes. Just like...
Also, I've never felt so seen with the well-meaning mediator white lady who is like white-splaining something. You know what I mean? That energy that Vita has, like, there is something that is sacred about the art of... And I was like, oh no, it's me. Oh no.
Oh, it's me. Oh
Yeah.
no. Anyways.
That was a hard look in the mirror.
There's a moment in everyone had that movie as like a queer kid that like you come back to, maybe at Pride, maybe after, whatever. But like for me, obviously it's Birdcage, and then ultimately To Wong Fu, thanks to, I don't even remember who showed me To Wong Fu. Was it you?
I don't think so. I feel like you already knew it when we watched it.
Yeah. I'd already been introduced, but for me, Jennifer Coolidge, there was something about her, even in my youth, that was so much about queerness, and I don't know what it was about her.
I think it's the same thing, like Disney villains, inspired by Divine, inspired by drag queens.
Yeah, the drag culture, the counterculture.
Yeah, and not to say that Jennifer Coolidge is not completely deserving of her own original talents, but I wonder if there is something in her history that has to do with a drag lineage. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all, just because of the expressiveness and the style of the comedy and the camp. You know what it is? It's the camp for me.
It's the camp, yeah. For sure.
She dials it up to
also,
11. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, though.
Yeah.
Anyways, so my Pride hangover is different this year. My Pride recovery is different this year. It was I'm going to make it about me as a white cis woman. Avi.com.
The floor is yours.
It's me. But I had a ton of travel and didn't make it to a traditional Pride, which was very strange for me. It was probably my first year. I remember like coming out, going to Buffalo Pride. I actually had a trans man. I was dating a trans man. I had a trans man.
I had a trans man. Sorry, there was a Windows prompt and it hid our camera and I panicked.
Oh no, that's atrocious.
Yeah.
So I had a trans man like in the cupboard. I don't know why it's saying like that. But he was so stealth because of his job that he couldn't go to Pride. So my first Pride was really complicated because I was there, but it was kind of as my relationship with him disintegrated. And whatever, like, he's a trans man. He was teaching, like, junior high history in upstate New York. Like, yeah, like, stay as far in the closet as you need to survive, But at the time, I couldn't see that.
That's the kind of experience that, like, because we don't talk a lot about that, even within the queer community.
Right.
The levels of safety of being able to show up, but, like, that's the darkness right there.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, well, I can't be mad at him. I have to be mad at the system, but I was too immature to know that. Does that make sense?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Girl, not us getting vulnerable on the dish. It's our way. Sorry to all you at home.
Invulnerable. He sent his old roommate to pee on a bunch of my clothes, and I left them in my closet and then left the apartment. So he wasn't the most mature.
Well, both things can be true, right? We can hold our relationships with nuance and complexity. That's okay. But no, that's
we all contain multitudes.
Whom among us hasn't peed at the behest of someone else out of spite?
He peed on my clothes.
That's awful. That's like,
it was bad.
You have to be really resentful, and also, like, imagine that friend would do anything for that person.
I know, but that friend had a penis, which I feel like is relevant for this particular moment, because, hear me out, a lot of my clothes in the closet were hanging up.
Oh, so you had to be able to aim.
That's what I'm saying. And look, I don't want to get into biology here on the dish, but, like, I need one of those You Go Girls, the things for camping for women. Have you seen those?
Right. They said one thing about me is I'm gonna pee standing up.
Honestly, that's not the hill I would have died on as a trans man, but I'm not a trans man, so I don't know why we were like.
Yes, yes. You know what? I love moments like this where we can just like really get into it. You know, I can honestly say I have not had a conversation like this in maybe like I was gonna say 3 weeks. Whenever the last time we dished, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
well,
yeah, yeah. So, anyways, I have overshared.
Oh no! Suddenly I feel pressure. You know, I can't imagine not going to any. What's happening?
I don't know. It fell off.
Okay. It was organic. It was organic. Oh no.
It was organic. This is honestly, this bodysuit is great, but I'm really upset because it's Khloe Kardashian's new brand, and I bought it without knowing, and now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm openly supporting someone who's like destroying women's body image, like.
You know what? Sometimes we're accidentally viral, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make space for
unintentionally
that.
problematic.
Yeah. So I
can't,
I cannot imagine not going to an official Pride event because it feels like such a pilgrimage. Like, here's the thing for me. If I'm not uncomfortable at some point, like the ancestral wound in me is not satisfied.
Yeah.
Is that weird? Yeah. Like, I have to be, at some point I have to get a sunburn or almost pass out or like have next to an anxiety attack in a crowd, because whoops, crowd anxiety. But it's like you have to whoops you have to you have to get through it. Like somehow I feel like if I can get through this, I can get through like systemic oppression. I don't think it's healthy.
I do think no, not like. But I also think, like, look, on the flip side of the exhaustion and the dehydration and the overwhelmingness and everything, the social anxiety and the real social anxiety right now, because, like, the Pride I was planning on going to that everyone I knew went to had a shooter caught at the entrance. And,
really?
Oh, yeah. Wilton Manors Pride had. So here's the thing about Wilton Manors Pride. It's become more militarized, which is obviously extremely controversial. They have added metal detectors, and with that have had to increase the price of Pride. Okay. And that is, of course, terrible. So a lot of nonprofits have done like things where it's like, hey, like if you can't afford it, we'll get you right. They're subsidizing the local nonprofits so that folks who can't afford Pride can still go to Pride, which I love. Yeah. Because it's like, look, this is a space for all, but also now we're in a situation. So he was caught with multiple firearms. Thanks to the thing that really makes it so hard, right? And it's like, what does Pride look like now? They caught him. He was arrested on the spot, but that's a really complicated situation because we're not in the situation we were 20, 30, 40 years ago, right? Where someone just can't bring in a weapon of war. Yeah. Right? So this added layer, which is controversial and is frustrating for a lot of folks who could just used to walk in, right? I mean, like it was a festival, it was a party, it was a riot. Now has to have this added level. So I think with all the anxiety of that, I think you deserve a reward. And the flip side is the community, like filling your cup with the community, seeing the people, seeing like the young people. That's my favorite. Like that's what fills me where I'm just like, I was there. Maybe not there, right? But like, oh my God, look at you. You sweet, dumb baby.
Yeah.
Like, how's this going to go? I can't wait.
God. No, I did talk to some people this year that it was their first Pride because I was volunteering with Equality Ohio and we were you were handing out the literature and there were some like gabies who were at their very first Pride, and that's when you really have to like make sure you have the waterproof mascara because it gets you. And I just like I have this urge, this one might say maternal urge, but I still don't want kids. We'll get into that later. But it's like I want to protect. It's like that's too complicated. But I was like I just want to like be like, it's gonna be okay, and I'm so sorry you're going through all this, and I'm like, no, that's not what today is about. Today is about,
Yes.
like, do you want a free bracelet? Like, take some
Let me
water.
pivot.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to have a good time, and I don't want to drag you down because of whatever baggage I'm going through, you know?
Yeah. And here's the thing, like we had, not to get too deep, but we had
Us?
a golden, you know what I mean? Like we talk about this golden era, how things were, and we're slipping back, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know there that's real, and I'm not trying to discount it, but
The golden era of 2015. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
like it's so easy for us to not to forget what our you are the what our queer ancestors went through. Scott, sometimes things happen in my head and I don't share them out. Can you tell I've been up since 4 a.m.? You know what it is? I think you put it really beautifully, and I don't know if you want to talk about it on this dish, but I think we should talk about it on another dish. So it's your call,
Mm-hmm.
which is, we have so many different types of ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
and that has stuck with me. So it's like I think about the space I'm in right now with the way the world is, not just the country, the world.
Yeah.
Like I have to think bigger for my sanity.
Mm-hmm.
How dare I have a pity party, right?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, how dare that for me, for as a cis white woman who identifies as queer, who's partnered with a woman, it's very difficult for me. And don't get me wrong, I have a pity party, and it is good. And there's
good. I'm
Corpse
glad you do.
Reviver.
Yeah.
There's Corpse Reviver number ones only.
Oh.
So it's not great.
Because I don't want to enjoy it.
I just want to do it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think the Pride has always been a struggle. Pride has always been a riot. Pride has always been a party. Pride has always been a parade, right? In all the different iterations. And I think it's a good reminder that, I don't know, I was talking with a straight. And
Oh,
he was
no.
like,
My condolences.
Thank you. Thoughts and prayers to me.
To me.
And he was like, we were talking about shit. And he was just like, oh, I just don't think things have ever been this bad for the queer community. He didn't say it like that, but I was like, oh my God, Google it. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think like I'm not saying it's a good situation, but I also know we thrive in struggle, and we thrive in that. Like we know this. We know this girl. Like we've been here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it better, and it doesn't make it this. Everything. I just, I love that you sat and paused and like made the space for what is unabashed queer joy in a space of real scarcity.
Yeah.
For that emotion.
Yeah, there's so many things to touch on, but just to mention a couple, I really wanted, like, this Pride and the last couple of years, I haven't felt like celebrating in a way where, like, I'm celebrating that something good happened, right? That kind of celebration did not feel pertinent right now. And so I was like, okay, well, what does celebration look like in a hard time? And it's like, well, we're still alive. We still have things that we love in this world. We can still access joy even though we're in a world that insists that we don't, right? And so, like, all those things can also be true. But I love that you bring up the idea of ancestry, because it really has helped me recently to think about, like, you brought up a great point, which is the kind of survivor guilt of privilege, which is like, well, I have these resources and I don't have this struggle, or, whatever struggles I think other people have that I don't have. And that can all be true, but also we all have days where we have trouble getting out of bed in the morning, and that doesn't make that day any easier,
Right.
So it's not really a comfort, but it does link us all as people, I think. And not to bring up a book recommendation because I am a super nerd, but recently, yeah, us. But recently, my sister gave me a book called Wintering by Catherine May, and I just finished it on the plane ride back, and she describes a number of different scenarios where she describes wintering as a process that is sort of like not just human, but also like animal, the animal part of us that has periods of abundance and periods of scarcity. And like, how do we prepare or not prepare for those periods in our lives that can come up for a number of different reasons, right? It might be health crises. It might be political turmoil, like whatever it is.
Interesting. Oh, I definitely want to read that.
It's great. It was I found it to be very healing. Like, I didn't completely my one criticism of it is she tells a lot of different, what seem to be disparate stories, and so I had a difficult time following the outline. You know what I mean? But I've been thinking a lot about this one story she tells where she and a friend like develop a penchant for cold dipping in the ocean, like near where they live in the UK. And at first they're like really scared of it because they're like, if I dip in that cold water, I'm gonna die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after
Yeah.
5, yeah, and then they say like, you know what, we're just gonna do it every day for a week and we'll see how we feel. And like after day 5, they can spend like up to 5 minutes in the cold water. You know, like after 30 seconds, they're like gasping for air and treading water, but then they're like, wow, this is so exhilarating. And she was drawing this parallel between like, sometimes it was kind of like what I was trying to articulate, I think, around being uncomfortable during Pride. It's like, if I can get through this experience, this is sort of like exercising that part of my body that knows how to navigate crisis and still survive.
Right. Yeah.
And I think there's some, it's like the reason I like to watch horror movies, right? It's like, oh, okay, I'm watching this like really scary, nerve-wracking situation and I didn't die, right? Like I'm still okay. Not everyone processes why watching horror, but for some reason, like, I get in a certain mood where I'm just like, I need to experience really dark feelings in a safe container.
Yeah. No, I get that. I love that. And I think there's so much, like, so there's this concept in psychology, and it's kind of burgeoning, and it's not in, like, DSM-5 or anything yet, but it's about this concept called of post-traumatic growth. We know about PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome now. You know, they've changed the name, but there's also this like post-traumatic growth thing. So a super extreme example is like someone raised in abject poverty who becomes a pro athlete or a celebrity, right? The same person who went through that trauma, right, did not experience that growth, right? And it's all about what this is: post-traumatic stress, post-traumatic growth, post-traumatic whatever. And I think about it I think about like my periods of immense growth and my moments of immense stagnation, what that feels like, right? And I think as a queer community, we are in this moment of frustration, of stagnation. And I think we have to remember it's kind of part of the growth.
Yeah.
Of the collective trauma.
Yeah.
We will continue to grow. We are growing in spite of. Right?
I hope so.
I think we are.
I think we are too. I don't know if you are an astrology person at all, but I heard that that Uranus just entered Gemini, which is like, Uranus is one of the outer planets that is a really, really slow cycle through the astrological houses. And so, like, the longer cycles are leading me to think, like, what are those things that, like, astrology is not predetermination, right? It's not like, oh, this certain thing is happening in the skies, and so that determines what happens down here. But, like, I think it's interesting to think about the reflection between the two, right? Like, what is happening in the configuration of the heavens that could correspond to what's going on here?
Yeah.
And the longer cycles of, like, you know, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all of those outer planets make me think, what are those cycles that connect us as humanity, you know? The things that... Yeah. This is going back to ancestry, but, like, how are the ways that we know how to pull back and the ways that we know to spring forth when we're ready? And it's been
fascinating.
Yeah, and it's been a really rough, it's been a really rough 6-7 months. I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of trying to force myself to be out there and do things at the normal pace that I want to do. And it's not even like a decision that I can't do them. It's like your knees just buckle and you try to do it and all of a sudden you like face plant. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is that? So, post-Pride recovery, still figuring it out, girl.
Look
at the good we did.
July is so hard because it's such a like slingshot back into reality.
It is. It's like, you know what? The glitter bomb is fully vacuumed up
I know.
and it's still hot outside.
You got to wear like a red, white, and blue Speedo.
Oh no, we
Just,
surely don't.
I
We
know we
surely
don't.
don't.
Which is too bad because I'm a winter, so red is my color, you know?
Yeah. I get it. I get it. I just
Oh,
it's
you're
a
in red.
challenging palette to pull off.
It is. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't wear blue ever. Mostly I dress like a sherbet cone.
Is that like pastels?
No, like I love like bright colors. I don't know, I've been really into like lighter colors, but like still like lighter jewel tones, not quite pastels.
Like vivids?
Um, yeah, vivids. I also hit a weird place in my femness, which is switching my foundation color because I'm so tan from living in Florida.
I'm 100% here for this conversation. Tell me all about it.
Are you serious?
Do you feel like the warm, cool tones have shifted in your skin in response to more
Yes.
sun? That's so
Yes.
interesting. I love that.
Yeah, so I bought the color, and as many of you in the dish know, my wife is black. So she I was like, hey babe, like I need you to check this because like am I an Oompa Loompa? Am I the white woman where like the color changes? Like I
Oh,
need you to
no.
anyways. So we have this running joke just between us
Yes, yes.
where I really struggle knowing when she gets a haircut.
Because it
Because
looks
she
the
gets
same
a
before and after?
well, yeah, but like it doesn't. But the whiteness in me doesn't pick up the nuance
Oh, right. You
of
don't.
like the black fade. Right? Like
Yes.
it's like this funny.
It's like a white blindness. Yeah, I get it.
It is. So like she'll have a haircut and then like 2 days later she's like, oh, I saw my barber, and I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? This has been going on for like 5 years, right? Like
Right.
this is not new. Where the running joke is. So there's just things where like we hit these cross racial barriers
Mm-hmm.
in terms of our partnership where like she's like, yeah, just don't try. And I'm like, did you get a haircut? Because also she has like a really tight, you know her, she has a tight fade. So it's not like it's like an extreme difference,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it is an extreme difference, but not to my white eyes, right? Like I wasn't raised in this lens. So I'm trying to readjust to the lens.
Right.
Totally fine. So I'm like, do I look orange? Do I look like an Oompa Loompa? Do I look like a white woman trying to be a different color? Like I'm hyper aware of this, especially in this climate. I'm just like, and she was like, you know what? This is like you with the haircut. I have no idea. So I've just been surveying people.
I've just been surveying
Like,
people.
how does my face look? Because I don't know.
Well, for what it's worth, it doesn't look any different to me. And
We're gonna
I
do an in-person check, but this is the cross. Like this is like what happens in a multi-race relationship where you're just like, oh yeah, we can't cover this shit. Nope, that's fine.
yeah. Well, since we're being vulnerable about our skin tone complexities, I leaning into my later into my 30s, I have started to get some more variation in the tones of my skin. And so, you know,
Yeah.
like veins get more blue, there's a little more rosacea happening. It's just like it's a natural thing, right? And so I have started to do this thing. I don't contour a lot when I put on makeup.
Yeah.
I don't wear makeup a lot at all, let's be real. But when I do wear makeup, excuse me, I have started to contour with more red blush, and not just on the cheeks, but I'll put a little bit on the sides of my nose
Oh,
and
interesting.
up into the temples. And I feel like it
Okay.
kind of pulls the red all the way through. And so if my foundation doesn't cover up all of the red tones, then there's a little bit of like shading that helps the illusion. That's my theory.
Oh, I love that.
Mhm.
Okay. Girl. I don't know any of that stuff.
If there are any
I'm such a
professional makeup artists watching,
yeah.
I
I'm
will
such a
thank you
bad
very
fan.
much to not comment on what we've just said because
Yeah, I'm such a bad femme. These are $10. They're from Claire's.
See, but nobody would have known that if you hadn't outed yourself as a Claire's
I know I'm
shopper.
proud about it.
Yeah.
So I went there for an 80s party thing I had to go to. And then I was like, I'm going to keep wearing this shit. It looks great.
Yeah, why would you stop?
Why would I stop?
You know, Monty and I have tried out wearing rings, and like this one, you couldn't tell anyway from this far away. But this is like a $15 Amazon ring, girl. Like, this is just like for the fun of trying out wearing rings. You know what I mean?
I used to do that in college. I thought men would just like hit on me constantly, so I wore an engagement ring, and it turned out men never hit on me constantly because I was very queer, and I still wore an engagement ring.
Oh, well, you know, there's a theory that if you want to be hit on more, then you should wear an engagement ring because people want what they can't have.
I have heard that. As somebody who travels...
It's very Cosmo magazine, though.
It is.
Yeah.
As someone who travels for work 100% of the time of my life, I'm here to tell you, ring or no ring, I am delightfully avoided, and I want to be studied. It's great.
Yeah. You know what?
Because, like,
I am too.
A man like talks to me, and I'm just like, well, that's great. Tell me about your wife. It's like, I have not one. I'm like, oh, no, homie. No, this is not, I am not the one. And they run. It's great. I don't need a ring for that.
I don't need a ring for that. No.
Mm-mm.
Well, there's this thing called, like, you know, questioning men on their ideas. A lot of straight guys don't like that.
No, they surely do not.
No. They also, there's a whole thing about blue-haired liberals. This is going way off into the weeds. There's a whole thing about blue-haired liberals, and I was like, oops. Not sorry about it.
It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the problem, it's me.
So, ladies, if you want to repel men, just dye your hair a fashion color, and you're good to go.
Exactly. Ladies, leave your man at home. And dye your hair blue. Well, what a triumphant return of Covered Dish.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I feel like we're due for a deep dish.
We are.
So, we are surely due. But I think I'll be on a flight next Thursday, so it can't be next Thursday.
Do you want to talk about avian lampshades?
Ah,
I could fill an hour with that. No, I'm kidding.
It was the precision with which you pointed to the avian.
Yeah.
Talk about ladies leave your man at home. You know what I mean? Girl.
She is hot, hot, hot. Have you seen her lampshades?
We leave our lights on way too long and the lampshades get warm. Anyways, this has been a delightful return to the dish.
It really
I know
has.
you're jet lagged. We really appreciate you joining us. Thank you for everyone tuning in now and later.
And for always.
We have to give a shout out to our latest fan.
Oh my god, yes. I'm so excited about this. Who we're going to see this weekend.
Yes, we're going to go see them this weekend. Hold on, I have to find them. So, Snot Rocket.
Yes.
Very excited to promote. They will be performing at District West as a judge this Sunday, July 13th, at the Jack of All Trades competition. We will be there. Snot Rocket or Snot Rocket? How do you say it?
I think it's Rocket. I actually don't know.
Snot Rocket. Okay. So, well, you know, the two T's and the E.
I know. Yeah, me too.
Snot Rocket. I was shopping in Columbus, and they stopped me, and they were like, I'm so sorry. Are you on... I don't want to bug you, but are you on Covered Dish? And I was like, holy shit, what?
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing moment. I was like, oh, yes, I am, but also, who are you? And they're an amazing drag performer, so please follow them on Instagram and give them some love, and we will be there to support them at District West and all drag and non-binary and queer performers in Columbus and South Florida and around the world. So if you ever have a show, please let us know. We will promote it here. That was so fabulous, and we will be at District West to support them.
Yeah. I can't wait. I think that's on Sunday.
You do? Yes.
Sunday.
The Lord's Day.
The Lord's Day, where we engage in depravity.
Yeah.
Well,
actually, typically, yeah.
Well, yeah, and also on Tuesdays. So if you're up for more depravity, come find us next time on Covered Dish. Bye.
I almost fell over.